In the dawn of humanity, the world was a breathtaking tapestry of God's creation. Yet, this beauty became tainted. Humanity strayed, filling the earth with corruption and wickedness, a sight that deeply grieved the heart of its creator. The world had lost its way, and God, in his sorrow, resolved to wash it clean, to start anew. But amidst this widespread darkness, one man shone like a beacon. His name was Noah. He was a righteous man, blameless among the people of his time, and he walked faithfully with God. In a world drowning in sin, God found favor in Noah's eyes. God spoke to Noah, revealing his plan to bring a great flood of waters upon the earth to destroy all life under the heavens. But for Noah, God offered a path to safety, a covenant of preservation. He instructed Noah to build an ark, a vessel of colossal proportions. "Make yourself an ark of cypress wood," God commanded. "Make rooms in it and coat it with pitch inside and out." The dimensions were staggering: 300 cubits long, 50 cubits wide, and 30 cubits high. It would have a roof, a door in its side, and be built with lower, middle, and upper decks. This was no mere boat. It was a floating sanctuary, a testament to one man's unwavering faith in the face of a seemingly impossible task. Imagine the scene. Noah relaying this divine message to his family and his community. The whispers, the ridicule, the disbelief. Building a gigantic ship on dry land, far from any sea, for a flood that had never been seen. It must have sounded like madness. Yet Noah did not waver. He and his sons Shem, Ham, and Japheth set to work. Day after day, the sound of hammers and saws filled the air. The massive structure began to take shape, a monument of obedience rising against a backdrop of skepticism. This was more than just construction. It was an act of profound trust, a physical manifestation of a spiritual conviction. Noah did everything just as God commanded him. As the ark neared completion, God gave Noah his next instruction. "Go into the ark, you and your whole family, because I have found you righteous in this generation." But they would not be alone. God commanded Noah to bring into the ark 2 of every kind of living creature, male and female, to keep them alive. From the mighty elephants and lions to the smallest insects and reptiles, a great procession began. Animals of every shape and size, birds of every feather, creatures from every corner of the world, instinctually journeyed towards the ark. It was a sight to behold, a living, breathing parade of God's creation, all drawn to this single vessel of hope. Noah and his family guided them in, a pair of every unclean animal and 7 pairs of every clean animal, ensuring that life in all its diversity would endure. Once Noah, his wife, his sons, and their wives were safely inside with all the animals, God himself sealed the door of the ark. For 7 days, they waited in the belly of the great ship, a quiet anticipation hanging in the air. Then it began. The springs of the great deep burst forth, and the floodgates of the heavens were opened. Rain fell upon the earth for 40 days and 40 nights. It wasn't just a storm, it was a relentless, world-altering deluge. The water rose steadily, lifting the ark high above the ground. Rivers swelled, valleys disappeared, and soon the highest mountains were submerged. The world that Noah had known was gone, erased beneath a tumultuous global ocean. Everything that had breath on dry land perished. Only the ark, a tiny speck on an endless expanse of water, floated on the surface. Inside, a microcosm of the old world was preserved. Amidst the roaring waves and the pounding rain, the ark was a sanctuary of life, cradled by the very waters that brought destruction to everything else. For 150 days, the waters prevailed upon the earth, a stark and silent reminder of God's judgment and his mercy. But God remembered Noah and all the creatures with him in the ark. He sent a wind to sweep over the earth, and the waters began to recede. The springs of the deep and the floodgates of the heavens were closed, and the rain stopped. Slowly, painstakingly, the water level dropped. The ark, which had drifted for months, finally came to rest on the mountains of Ararat. The long, dark journey was nearing its end. Still, they waited. After 40 days, Noah opened a window he had made in the ark and sent out a raven, which flew back and forth until the water had dried up from the earth. Then he sent out a dove to see if the water had receded from the surface of the ground. But the dove could find no place to set its feet because the water was still over the entire surface of the earth, so it returned to him in the ark. He waited 7 more days and again sent out the dove. This time, the dove returned to him in the evening, and in its beak was a freshly plucked olive leaf. It was a sign, a beautiful, powerful symbol that the earth was coming back to life. Noah knew then that the waters had subsided. He waited another 7 days and sent the dove out once more, but this time it did not return. Finally, the day came. On the first day of the first month of Noah's 601st year, the water had dried up from the earth. Noah removed the covering from the ark and saw that the surface of the ground was dry. God then spoke to him, "Come out of the ark, you and your wife and your sons and their wives. Bring out every kind of living creature that is with you so they can multiply on the earth and be fruitful and increase in number upon it." As they stepped out onto the damp, clean earth, they breathed in the fresh air of a renewed world. The first thing Noah did was build an altar to the Lord. He took some of the clean animals and birds and offered them as a burnt offering, a profound act of gratitude and worship. The aroma of the offering was pleasing to God, and he made a promise in his heart, "Never again will I curse the ground because of humans." Even though every inclination of the human heart is evil from childhood, and never again will I destroy all living creatures, as I have done. As long as the earth endures, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night will never cease. God blessed Noah and his sons, and as a sign of this everlasting covenant between him and all life on earth, he set a magnificent rainbow in the clouds. "Whenever I bring clouds over the earth and the rainbow appears in the clouds," God said, "I will remember my covenant. Never again will the waters become a flood to destroy all life." The rainbow stands to this day as a vibrant, colorful promise, a reminder of destruction, deliverance, and God's enduring grace. The story of Noah's Ark is a powerful epic of faith, obedience, and the promise of a new beginning. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey. If you found this story inspiring, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that explores the greatest stories ever told. We'll see you in the next video.